This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Although I consider my true home to be the background behind me, Toronto, Ontario, and Ontario, um, which is a place I hope to make home at some point. Folks, here we are on January the 21st, 2024, and I have a guest on here for the eighth time, which is a rarity, you know, and I don't know what keeps me talking to this guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's the love of horror.
That it? No, that can't be it. Well, maybe it's Brett Harris. Maybe that's it.
Possibly.
Maybe that's it. Anyway, folks, I give you the awesome Scotty McCoy. How do you do, Scotty?
Hey, I'm doing good, Greg. How are you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. I know since we talked last year, you're in the process of moving.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. We got a house, me and my fiance, and we've been renovating the house since July of
Hmm.
last year. And we finally move in 3 weeks to a new place, and it's gonna be so awesome not having to pay rent.
Yeah, I haven't quite achieved that. I wasn't planning to be in this location for as long as I have. Plan was to do a housing thing with my brother and his wife, and
Mhm.
it just COVID, number one, screwed a lot of that up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I said it's either we do the housing thing or I move to Toronto. And for some reason, I'm stuck in limbo right here. So what can I say? But I'm gonna make the best of it right now. Tomorrow, um, I'm set to have two cleaning jobs, which is I've never in my life worked two jobs before, but I just got for the first time in my life a visa bill. I've never been in debt before until
Mhm.
now. And, you know, my dentist decided to help me with that, with a couple root canals I had. So it's like, thanks. And now they're telling me that I'm going to need caps for one of my teeth. And I'm like, how much is that going to be? They told me, I said, yeah, you don't have put me in debt enough, have you? Yeah, yeah, I was getting pretty stern about that. So plus, I had to get glasses ordered because I'm dealing with some issues with uh some vision issues in one eye, but hopefully I can clear that up in another way though, because I heard it's just getting with age. So I'm like, great. I'm like, after 50 years old, that's when I hear people complain about turning 40. Are you kidding me? You wait till you turn 50. That's when things start to fall apart on you. But anyway, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, uh, nonetheless, it's great to have you back on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, we haven't get to talk in a while. We used to talk all the time, but I know between you and me, I work overnight, so most of the time while you're up, I'm asleep. So
Yep, and when you're up, I'm asleep because I have to be up at work for 4:30 in the morning. So it's like our schedules literally are opposite ends of the spectrum.
yeah, yeah. So, and I find even now, that's one thing else I find too, because I remember I never used to nap. I sleep a lot more now than I used to.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. When I'm sleeping, it means I'm not spending money. So, hey,
Maybe I
uh,
should sleep more because my addiction is probably Amazon.
Well, I think I sleep more because my cat is teaching me.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
Skittles is
job,
teaching.
Skittles.
Hi, kitty. Kitty, you gonna come over and see Scotty? Why? Well, you mean it's too far to travel over here? You lazy little shit. He's my buddy. Yeah, he's my buddy.
Aw,
See, when I was at the in Toronto for Frightmare in the Falls, one of the places I visited was the Toronto Zoo.
nice.
They had a den there with lions, and
Ooh.
the lions were asleep on their side, laying there, and I was like, proof that Skittles is related to royalty. There, it's exactly. I say that's what Skittles does. Skittles is related to the King of Beast.
It's the
I
circle of
knew.
life, right?
Yes, that's right. Anyway, but yeah, I got to Toronto a couple times last year and did my third convention with Lisa, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing I'm getting tired of though is and I might put my foot down on this when it comes to conventions is I might start only going to see guests who've done my show
Mhm.
because you know I met I got Robert Kurtzman and Marcy King to sign my copy of
Mhm.
Secret Santa while I was there. And Marcy was quite excited that she took a picture of us to send to Adam because I was the only one to bring a Secret Santa Blu-ray there. And I was happy about it. And I told them about my show. And Adam had texted me and told me about this as well. And they were quite happy. And it all seemed promising. They weren't able to do late last year. So it's supposed to happen this month, and it got pushed behind. So then I get told that they're not doing any podcasts, that they've done so many, blah blah blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, number one, if if you're gonna start doing everybody else's podcast, well, why don't you get everybody sign everybody else's autograph? You don't need to sign mine.
Right.
Don't you don't need to sign mine.
Right. And I know I'm not anything as big as them or anything, but the fact is, like, I've done your podcast 8 times. What else do we really have to talk about? But it's fun.
Yeah,
Give the viewers what they would of your show, what they might not have seen from other people's shows.
exactly. So anyway, I put a post on Facebook and calling this out and stuff. And
Mhm.
I probably shouldn't have done this, but I made examples, like Death Curse
Mhm.
Society, Without Your Head, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I wasn't criticizing those podcasts. I listen to those podcasts. I got nothing against them, but those are the ones that are generally getting hit up by these celebrities.
Yeah.
So and Neil from Without Your Head had commented on the post, and I think he misread what I put.
I
I
seen
said,
that. Yeah. I was even when I was reading his comment, I'm like, he definitely either misread it or didn't read it fully because what he was saying was totally different from what you posted.
yeah. So I was very apologetic because I don't want beef with him or his audience. That's not what this is. I think I applaud the fact that he's got the audience he has.
Hmm.
I don't get paid to do this, but I'll tell you one thing, and I think whether it be Robert Kurtzman or whoever it may be, any of these people that's turned me down, who've done countless other podcasts, and they say, well, we're tired of talking about the same thing. Well, then you're tired of signing your name on countless things too. So I'm going to spare
Hmm.
you one more.
Right.
And I'm going to spare myself from spending money on this
Yeah.
individual. So,
And that a lot of people say like if guests do this, that, or the other for whatever reason, the way to really hurt them is in their pocket.
well, when I went to Frightmare in the Falls, I met PJ Souls and I was quite excited to meet her. And I must have got more stuff signed at her table than anybody.
Hmm.
And I brought up the podcast thing, and she said if she did mine, she'd have to do everybody else's. And I'm like, well, I know several other podcasts you've done.
Hmm.
Like, what makes me so much, and I take this personally
Hmm.
as a judgment call. It's like I'm I'm not up there with the others, and I'm like, you know what? Starting tomorrow, I'm going to be working 2 cleaning jobs, which means I'm going to be working some 12 or 13 hours a day.
Hmm.
I don't want to hear anybody's bullshit,
Hmm.
you know. Um, I think I deserve just as much respect as any other podcast, but when I deal with stuff like that, I start to get just a little bit impatient and I said this too about Amy Steele, and remember Bobby Heckman asked me, "Well, don't you want to meet the person?" And I'm like, "No, because it's about self-respect."
Hmm.
Like if they're going to do everybody else's podcast, come on and do mine. If you can't do mine, then I can't give you business at your table. Sorry, it's just how it is. And I think it's
Right.
only fair that I go see the people that gave me business. Um, I went and I gave Eileen Dietz business when I was at in Toronto. So she had done my show a couple times. In fact, she said in the video, took a little short video with her talking to her. She said she'll do it again. You know why she says that? Because she likes the experience of talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
anyway, I didn't mean to step on the toes of any of those other podcasts.
Right.
But I do think Neil misread what I said. I wasn't taking a,
Mhm.
a negative crack shot at his show or anybody
Right.
else's, but they do get a lot of people, and I don't like being turned down. Because I
Yeah.
like I said, I work a cleaning job. It's not glamorous, and
Hmm.
it's always nice to have people on. So
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't even remember when I last did an episode of an interview with my podcast. I think it was definitely last summer. But like I said, I've been busy in school. I'm teaching 2 graduate classes. I'm taking 2 graduate classes a semester. I finally graduate next spring, 2025. On top of that, I'm working full time and moving. So like I've just been so busy that like I just put everything on hold for a moment and kind of took a step back and focused on, my career and my future.
Well, let's talk about that Brett Harris because I mean
Yeah.
he's Brett is going to schedule to come back on. He's somebody you connected me with who I stayed in touch with,
Yeah,
and Brett's a great guy, and
he is.
yeah, and I'm all the time making stale cereal and underwear jokes at him at your expense.
Love Brett though. Brett is such a tremendous person. He is a trooper. With everything we've done, like I mean just in Samhain alone, like some of the behind the scenes stuff, like the stale cereal, and just in the very first thing we filmed, we literally like sprayed him with the hose and covered him in all this soot just for the effect of the film, just like he was such a trooper and he was down for it, and the fact that like we're filming like one of these scenes, and he's there in full costume with a knife and hiding in the bushes, and a cop is going by, and he's thinking, shit, I'm gonna get arrested right now. I have a even though it wasn't a real knife, but I have a knife in my hand. I'm in a clown costume. This is exactly after the clown scare of the area where people are dressing as clowns, scaring the residences of our area. So we have a cop literally, and she just waves at him and he waves back. It was so funny. He's just such a trooper, and on top of that, he got to see my ass crack probably more times than a straight married father should.
I know Megan saw it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. She saw it way too many times as well.
Yeah, that's the word of it. They saw it too many times.
Yeah. Definitely more times than a normal human should.
Yeah. Well, maybe they need to get you some suspenders.
Possibly. I would assume so. Speaking of that, wait till you hear this. This is a funny story from yesterday morning. So yesterday I was going out, like I said, every time we do an interview, before we record, I was telling you this. Every time we do an interview, it seems to snow. I don't know why, but it seems to snow. And maybe it's because it's January on the East Coast of the United States. But anyways, so I'm going out at 6 or so in the morning, and shovel out my car and get my car, like all the snow off my car and everything, and shovel around it so I can get out. I'm there with the wearing a hoodie and a beanie cap and the hood over the beanie cap. And then I put on this jacket, but I'm half asleep. At 6 a.m. I just woke up. I put this jacket on and I'm like, this jacket feels so small. Why does this feel small? I thought it was my jacket. Wasn't my jacket, it was my fiance's jacket. So anyways, that lifted up my hoodie, giving me a homemade belly shirt. It's like 9 degrees outside. I'm wearing my Scooby Doo pajamas, and my crack is literally out there. I feel it because like I'm just trying to get the snow off, and then I end up slipping on the snow, and snow goes all the way up my crack. I'm thinking, geez, Louise, can this morning get any worse? And I'm thinking, oh my God. And I'm like, this is probably what everybody was literally thinking about, like, my pants being all the way down. And I get snow all the way in my pants. And I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare.
Well, there you go. Well, I know Samhaim is done, and you got 72. How's 72 coming along?
It's coming along so far so good. Like I've told you privately before, it's just me and Carl. Like we're just the only two of Gravestone Films, and we both have full-time jobs. We both have families. We both have personal lives. And 72 is still being edited. It's mostly being done by Carl. But I help it every now and again. Um, but we keep saying this every year, but we're looking for a release in 2024, hopefully. But we'll see where it goes. It's definitely going to be released. The perks will be getting put out, for t-shirts and all that, but we can't really do t-shirts and all that stuff until we get the movie underway. Like because we want to give all the perks together. We don't want to have to keep paying for shipping for a shirt and then pay for the same people for DVDs and all that. So we want to wait until we get everything ready, but we can't get DVDs ready until we have the movie done. So there's just so many moving obstacles right now, but it's still being worked on. It's going good. It's a lot of editing, and this is our first one that we're really doing on our own, that we're editing on our own as well. So we're learning as we go, and it's very some there's like some shots where there's people in the background, so we're trying to find different angles to make that work. So the scene works, but you don't see anybody in the background, which we're doing, but it's harder because you're trying to maneuver this in a way where we're not as experienced as other editors are. But it's definitely going to be released sooner than later, hopefully. But it is taking longer than we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, yeah, you've been busy and I've been busy and I certainly haven't gotten where I want to be.
Mhm.
Um, last year was hard enough. I gaslit out of a job and
Yeah.
yeah, and but luckily I've been still working. But I was kind of hoping to be in Toronto. The
Yeah.
problem is, right, that with the way the rent is in Toronto, I couldn't find a place
Yeah.
to stay there.
Yeah.
So that job is open for me to reply at a future time if I get moved down there. I
Right.
know they're interested in me. Excuse me. And finding a place that was pet friendly was
Hmm.
another thing too.
Yeah.
So that became a problem on both ends. And so I'm still here, but at least I'm working. I've been working. I haven't missed any time. So,
That's good.
which is something my previous job didn't fucking give a shit about.
Yeah.
I find it funny. They would tell me that anybody can be replaced. I can be replaced. I'm like, no, I can't. The
Right.
only way you can replace me is to get somebody that A doesn't miss any time,
Right.
B has nine or more Bravos than me,
Hmm.
C works doubles
Hmm.
when asked, D works in any unit,
Hmm.
E works an 18-hour shift when 17 assholes decide to call in and say that they're sick when really they just don't want to fucking come to work.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. F works holidays. Like, need I go on?
Right.
So, no, they can't replace me.
Right. They can replace you with another human, but one that does everything that you do, chances are they're not going to find somebody that, does as much as you did for them.
Yep. So
Yep.
my current job right now said that my previous job's loss is their gain.
Yeah.
So, and I got referred this second cleaning job I'm going to be doing. Um, Somebody referred me to them because I guess I got asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah. So it's going to be a lot of hours, but I kind of need to get some bills paid up and try to get my accounts healthy again. And
Yeah.
yeah, so you
Makes
know,
sense.
yeah, it makes perfect sense. However, I know during the few times we got to chat last year, you told me a story that I thought was so thrilling. Um, on a plus side, November, I think it was November. Yeah, I think it was November of last year. I got to make peace with Jason Bradford, which was
Okay.
good. I got to make peace. I had Orlando Rodriguez on again, and
Mm-hmm.
Orlando, we were really just talking about his new project, uh, Camp Pleasant Lake, as opposed to anything 13 fanboy related. But I think Jason Bradford wanted to address the 13 fanboy thing, and he came on, and we had a really good
Okay.
non-judgmental interview. And I'll tell you one thing I get out of it. I think Jason knows or knew all along that I wasn't guilty of anything as far as that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think a lot of that came down to Debbie Sue Voorhees and Judy Aronson. Those are
Mm-hmm.
the culprits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not only did they piss me off, but they pissed off Carrie Yates and probably numerous other people.
Yep.
Um, it's unfortunate it had to come down to that, but I stood my ground as far as that goes, all over a suicide depression challenge, which all they had to do is say no to. But anyway, I went to Frightmare in the Falls last year, and there was a Friday the 13th, the final chapter reunion there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really cool to meet Kimberly Beck, who was agreed to do my show.
Mhm.
And Bobby Heckman didn't make it there, but Kimberly did. And I met her, and I met the twins. I met
Mhm.
Eric Chanderson. Um, I met an extremely expensive Corey Feldman.
Yeah, he was pretty expensive when I met him as well at Monster Mania. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But nonetheless, I'm like, gee, Judy Aronson's not here. I bet that's my fault. Yay! But you met Judy Aronson.
Uh-huh.
Please relay that because I know that you sent me a private message one time last year about this, and I just got the biggest friggin' kick out of this.
Um, so I went to a couple of cons last year. I went to Monster Mania, which was a Friday. Well, I went to two Monster Manias, one in April and then one in October. And the October one was the Part 4 reunion. Judy Arnson wasn't at that one. That one was the one after the one I met her at, and of course, all three of them that I went to last year were in Maryland. So I went to the Monster Manias were in Hunt Valley. And then the one I went to, I believe it was in August, I want to say, but I might be wrong on that. That one was in Pikesville, Maryland, and it's called the Maryland Pop and Horror Con. And they didn't have any type of reunion, but they had a couple of Friday the 13th people there. They had CJ Graham, and they had Judy Arnson. There's couple others floating around that were there that I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, so that was the first time I met CJ Graham, was really cool. He was a really cool guy. And then Judy Arnson was there, and I think she was a late addition to the thing. She was like announced maybe like 2 or 3 days before the actual event. Because already had my tickets and I was planning on going because my main focus was I want to meet CJ Graham. And then when Judy Aronson was there, I'm like, cool, I would like to meet her. And I mean, I was debating, do I want to get the autograph and get the picture and all that stuff, or did I want to mention you? Because like I want to get the autograph of as many Friday people that I possibly can.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't know. But I also wanted to, you as a really good friend of mine, I wanted to, say something. Like I figured this is my only chance I'm going to do this. So I was in line and I was waiting for maybe about 5, 10 minutes or so. It wasn't a really long wait. I get up there and she asked me what my name is, what do I want to get signed, all that stuff. And I told her, and I said I'm not going to get anything signed right now. I just want to see. I forget how I worded it, but it was something about like, I want to know like what your beef is with Greg Gilbert. And I know she knew what I was talking about. She looked like a deer in headlights. And I just left it at that. I didn't push the envelope. I just wanted to see if I got a reaction. See if she knew what was going on. But looking back at it, I should have got the picture and the autograph first
Oh, you
and
should
then
have
mentioned
functioned.
it. I didn't think of it. I should have. I didn't think of it at the time. I was just like hyped up. Just because I wanted to, as your friend, I wanted to make sure, like, hey, what you're doing isn't really cool. Like, I don't want you. I mean, I don't want I don't like beef. I don't like confrontation or anything like that. I didn't think there would be any confrontation, and there wasn't. It was just me making a question, and she looked like a deer in headlights. Like she didn't know what to say. And oh yeah, and that's what she said. She goes, I don't know who that is.
Bullshit.
Like that's kind of how it went. Like she was kind of like stammering to an extent, and just kind of like I don't know who that is, like I'm like, all right, I just wanted to mention because I heard a story and I wanted to kind of get your side of it, type of thing, and kind of left it at that, and then I walked away, and that was after I met CJ Graham. And then she was the last one I went to, and then because I was gonna leave after that anyways, and that was it. But yeah, I mean, I knew she knew what I was talking about. Like just the dead stare, like kind of like caught off guard. And like I said, Friday the 13th, part 4 reunion was 2 months later. Why wasn't she there in Maryland? Probably because, first of all, I mean, I live in Maryland. I'm, at this con. why wouldn't I be at the Monster Mania con? Like, maybe she didn't want to deal with that. She never was announced. I don't know if she was ever going to be planned. Which is interesting because like you got somebody that we didn't also get. We didn't get Eric Anderson,
Hmm.
which I would have loved to ha met him because I interviewed him and he was such a great guy. And he even uh during the interview, he even asked me, because I told him I posted on my one YouTube channel his death scene, and there's literally like hundreds of thousands of comments on there from people just commenting on that he's killing me, and he literally asked me to tell him the channel it's on so he could look in the during the interview at the comments and react to some of them on the air. And he did that, and it was freaking hilarious. He's like laughing during it. It was great. So I would love to have met him. I really would have loved to met him, but he wasn't confirmed at that event. But Lawrence Monason was, and that was so much fun. Me and him going clubbing together. That was so much fun. Yeah.
Talk about you clubbing with Lawrence Monason, AKA the last American Virgin.
Yep. 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 So great. It was really awesome to go clubbing with him. And then I took him back to the hotel because he was staying at the hotel because he was smashed. And like I said, this is after the like all the signings and everything like that. We went out to eat and then we went I ended up taking him to the club and we ended up dancing together and having a good time, and then he invited me back to his room and I'm like, "No, I'm in a relationship, sorry." Uh I'm telling you, when they say that temptation is real, that was tempting, but I was like, "No, I can't do that. I can't. I have more. That would consume me alive, and I would not ruin a really good relationship for Lawrence Monason. I'm sorry, but I can't do it."
Would it have been different had you been dancing with Crispin Glover, or would you have been able to keep up with him?
I might have been able to keep up with him at the VIP party. I reenacted with the one twin that did the dance with him. We reenacted that scene at the VIP party at Monster Mania. Me doing the Crispin dance and her doing the other dance, and we did it to Love Is a Lie, which is really cool. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I met the twins, and
they were really nice.
it's funny that they're British, and I
Yeah,
never really. So I'm hoping to get them on the show this year
I
for the
am too.
anniversary.
Yep, I messaged I told the twins when I met them, and I told them I sent them a couple of messages and they read it, but they never responded. And they said they usually don't respond to people they don't know or they haven't met at events because they could get any psycho, kind of like in Friday the 13th Part 4, any psycho could wander out, you know what I mean? So I ended up but they like hit me up and let's do it. So I sent them a message. They said, hit me up after we get back from Toronto because we're going to be at, I think it was Frightmare in the Falls or one of the events up there. And I told them, yeah, absolutely. And I didn't get a chance to message them back because I was at home with my family for the holidays for like 2.5 weeks. And then I came back and I was just busy moving. So I'm thinking after the move, even if I'm in school or whatever, I'll make, even 30 minutes to an hour put aside to interview both of them. And I also got a message last night, and I didn't see it till this morning, which was really surprising from Andrea's, from Nightmare,
Yeah,
4. And
yeah,
he sent me a message and he said, "Hey, Scotty, I just want to let you know that I received your email a couple of years ago or whatever it was, and I didn't have anything to promote at the time, but I now have a single coming out if you want to do an interview."
yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, I didn't message him back yet because I literally saw the message this morning, but I had to head out around 6:30. And then by the time I got back, I was really tired. We stopped at the house on the way back from picking my fiance up from work, and we ended up stopping back at the house. I had a car full of stuff. I wanted to take some stuff over to the house a while, to make moving day easier. And then we went to Dunkin', and then we got home and to the apartment, and he, like I said, he works all night or overnight, so he went to sleep and I laid in the bed with him and I fell asleep because I was really tired too. I don't know what hit me. I was just really tired. So I fell asleep and I woke up around 11:30, and I'm like, and then I just didn't get a chance to message him back. So I'm gonna do that when I get off with you.
Yeah. No, I had a good time at Frightmare in the Falls. It's the third convention I did with Lisa
Hmm.
and I gotta make it a thing to not meet so many people when I go at these cons because it can get pricey and
I
it's
can.
hard sometimes to say no. And
Mhm.
yeah, but I did a little on camera stuff with Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist while I was there, and uh, David Howard Thornton and Damien Leone from Terrifier,
Hmm.
and Kimberly Back, Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Hmm.
And I had Betsy Baker from The Evil
Nice.
Dead. So I did a little on camera stuff with them while I was there, which was kind of fun, you know.
Hmm.
And I attended the after party. Ari Lehman was performing, and Blood Opera
Nice.
were opening for them. So that was fun.
Nice. That is fun. Yeah. When I was at Monster Mania, it was or the fall one, like in October.
Mhm.
Sosie Bacon was there, which was really cool to meet her.
Yeah, Smile. You want to talk
Yep.
about a surprise? I'm going to tell you, when I first saw the trailer for that, I thought, this looks fucking stupid. And then it comes out and it's like, oh my goodness. Not only was it a sleeper hit, but it was actually really darn good.
Yeah.
So what was she like?
She was really nice. She was about maybe it was I met her on a Sunday. It was the last day I met her. So it was, getting ready to go home, pack everything up type of thing. So she had all of
Hmm.
her luggage, but she was about maybe 2 hours late. She was on time the other days, obviously, but she was definitely late on Sunday because I understand, like, her hair was all wet, so she was like, probably just got out of the shower because she's, getting ready to, like, after Monster Mania, she's probably going right to the airport. So yeah, she was very late, but she was very nice, very very nice. She even said, "I saw you walking around, all this time. I actually saw you forgot your your Friday the 13th box set that you were getting autographed. You forgot it at Lawrence Monison's table, and because she was like right next to Lawrence Monison, catty cornered. And she said, I let them know, hey, I think he forgot his box because they didn't see it in the corner of the table at first. And she was like, and I'm like, oh, that was you that told them about that. I'm like, I appreciate that. And she's like, yeah, she was really really nice. And I spent a lot of time even with Kimberly Beck. We on Saturday we probably talked for about a good maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so just at her table. And then we also chat at Sunday. Like me and Kimberly and Bobby Heckman must have hung out for at least 2, 3 hours that day. It was so much fun.
So which was more controversial, your ass crack or his legs?
Tough one. Tough one. Yeah, Bobby's such a cool dude though. He really is. I want to have him back on the show. Then I know I think he's like an executive producer of another movie coming out. So I'd like to have him back on the show. Probably won't be until summer. Like I said, the only people I really would probably do at this point during the semester, because I'm taking two really hard classes on top, like I said, on top of teaching two classes and working full time and moving. So I'd probably only book something with the twins and Andres.
Hmm.
I don't know if I would have anybody else on right now, not because of any, not disrespectful of them not being, whether they're or not they're big names, but it's just that I'm so swamped and I don't want to overwhelm myself with interviews. But in the summer, I would have no problem doing as many interviews as I possibly can with people just because I do miss doing it. I do. But there's only so many hours in a day. And when I'm, doing basically three jobs, yeah, I do them all from my house. Like I work from home for every single one of them. But it just there's so much going on and it just gets so busy. and I really do miss doing my podcasts, and I can't wait to get back to doing it. I wish I could have done it during the winter break, but summer break is longer than winter break. Winter break we're only off for like maybe a month at most, and I spent most of that time at my mom's house, and I don't see her as much to begin with. So I wanted to spend time with my mom while I was home visiting her. I didn't want to, do interviews while I'm there. So that's why I just took the winter break off. And that's why another reason why I didn't have you back on. So we usually
Yes, I'm
do
very offended by that.
yeah, so I'll be in touch. We'll be having an interview this summer.
Brett Harris and I had some words about that.
We'll be having our interview. We'll have one. We'll be doing them probably in the summer until I finish school, and then we can go back to the winter thing. But
Oh, I'm good. I'll come on whenever you want me on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I planned on having you on in the winter, but then I barely was at my apartment all winter. I was probably at my place in December, maybe at most a week and a half. And between 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I was in Pennsylvania. I came back like the Sunday or whatever after Thanksgiving, spent about a week home, and that week I basically was putting into the house renovating because I was going to be gone for another 2.5 weeks for Christmas. So yeah, I just was so swamped, and I was just at home, like, with my family, and I didn't want to really do anything then. So I just figured I would set something up with you in the summer because I'm
Mhm.
gonna be doing my interviews again in the summer, and I think that'll be a lot of fun to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny, Judy Aronson and her reaction. It's interesting with 13 Fanboy. Um, this is what makes Debbie Sue and Judy Aronson so full of shit, is that I've had Tracy Savage on here 5 times,
Yep.
and she knows all about this stuff.
Right.
And it's funny, she don't feel threatened by me.
Right. And she
Yeah,
also didn't she decline the Doubtfire face challenge?
who?
Tracy Savage.
Yeah, I wish she didn't, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but she did it respectfully. She didn't go behind your back. She didn't do anything, immoral or anything. She did it, respectfully, gracefully.
uh
And even though she said no, that you can't help but respect that she
oh,
actually
we still talk. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, but somebody says no, they said no. But Judy just jerked me around, and now she's
Yeah.
playing this fucking victim bullshit.
Yep.
Um, then there's Lar Park Lincoln I had on for the second time last
Nice.
year. Um, Lar is a trip, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And Lar not only did the Doubtfire Face challenge, but we talked about this whole 13 fanboy debacle, and she
Mm,
said that she's going to put me in touch with Terry Kaiser so I can stalk him.
nice. Nice. Yeah, I interviewed Terry Kaiser. You will love him. He was a freaking amazing, amazing person. So funny. He even it's funny. He invited me, I think it was to Colorado to meet up with him, and he could take me, like, just like I forget how it worked out, but he invited me to Colorado. I think he was staying in Colorado at the time. And he invited me up there, and I'm like, that's really cool, but how am I gonna get to Colorado? He's like, fly. I'm like, but I'm afraid of flying.
I fly.
Um,
But here's the thing, between Tracy Savage and Lar Park Lincoln, neither one of them
yeah,
believe the whole Judy Aronson stalking
good,
bullshit. None of them do.
good.
And I've got their numbers.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Judy Aronson totally knew who I was when you brought my name up. And by the way,
yep,
for those listening, I didn't put Scotty up to this. Scotty
nope,
shared this with me one Saturday, and I thought it was hilarious. But I was given her contact info by Ted White,
yep,
you know?
yep,
And this whole thing of her denying the hypothermia, whatever thermia thing,
yeah.
right now is a bunch of bullshit too, especially since I think it's the Crystal Lake Memories. I
She
believe it's
mentioned it
the
in there. Yeah,
yeah, so I don't trust her as far as I could throw her. And
And Ted White also mentions the hypothermia thing in the Crystal Lake Memories documentary.
yeah.
But yeah, Terry Kaiser, him and Lar Park, when I had them on, they talked and Terry Kaiser really got into the details about how they had how rattlesnakes and all that stuff and crocodiles and that when they were filming. And oh my God, it was so funny because I asked when you were doing your death scene and Jason, pushed you down that hill. I said, did you do your own stunt or did they hire a stuntman? He said, stuntman. This is a movie that barely could afford actors. How are they flying in a stuntman? Yeah, I did my own scene, and my head was so close to a crocodile, and we have an old man that our life basically depends on trying to kill those things. Yep, yep. So yeah, he was, when I introduced him, he said that was probably the best introduction he's ever gotten on a podcast. Because I was
There you
like, I did
go.
my intro and I go, I said, and boy, do I have an amazing guest for all of you to listen to right now. I have on this show Bad News Cruz himself, the vile Dr. Cruz. And he loved it.
Yeah.
He was really cool though. I don't know if I still have his email. I did have his number, but my phone reset. Because he gave me his number because we did the interview over the phone.
Uh-huh.
Because this is before the whole Zoom thing.
Hmm.
But I don't have his number anymore because my phone did a reset last summer. Was it last summer or was it two summer? Yeah, last summer. My phone did a reset where I turned my phone off because it was freezing a lot for whatever reason. And I turned it off and I went to turn it back on. And when I turned it back on, I lost everything. Now, thankfully, I have an iPhone, so I had my everything backed up in iCloud. But the things that don't back up in iCloud are your contacts and your apps. So I lost every single contact in my phone. Yeah. So I lost his number unfortunately, but I'm sure I still have the email where he has the number because have the same email for years since I contacted him. So I'm sure that I still have the number, and if I do, I mean I can give you the number. I can give you his email even to contact him. If Lar
Sure.
Park doesn't get back to you, he's a great guy, really great guy, very funny. And he was great, and yeah, it was a really good interview. I really enjoyed having him on the show, and I don't know if you saw Peter Anthony's movie Roseblood,
Oh
but
yeah,
but
I've seen that. Yeah, I've had Peter Anthony on here.
yeah, so that's I thought that was a really good fan film. So a good follow up to part 7. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he would be able to talk about that as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, any interesting guests you made at these cons besides Sophie Bacon and Laura? Well, I guess the Friday people that you met were cool. Is there anybody you haven't mentioned that stand out?
Yeah, David Arquette and Marley Shelton were amazing.
Mhm.
They were really cool. Marley Shelton, so it's starting my phone case is starting to show its wear and tear, but it's my phone case.
Yeah,
It's not charged, but it does play video games. It has 30 classic games on it. It has Super Mario Bros. And Sonic and Pac-Man and all that stuff on it. So you can play games right on your phone case. And Marley Shelton saw the phone case when we were getting our picture. And after we got our picture, she asked me about it and I showed her it and I showed her how you could play. And she was there playing the Super Mario Bros. On there. She wanted to play it and she died right away. She's like, God damn it. So funny. So funny. And then she gave me because I told her that that my fiance's aunt loves lemon scented stuff like lemon candle. She loves anything lemon. And she said, well, if you want, I have this lemon the Judy's lemon squares candle if you want it. I'm like, sure. I'm like, you're just giving I said, I'll pay you for it. She's like, how much do you want to give me? I said, I'll just give you $20 for it. Is that okay? She goes, sure, why not? So she gave me that for. I'm like, I knew my aunt, Kyle's aunt would love it, so I got that for her, and his aunt said that was probably the best smelling candle she's ever smelled in her entire life. She wasn't even selling them at the table. One of the vendors made them, and she, I guess, bought it off of the vendor, and she sold it to me because of what I said about how she loves lemon stuff, and wanted to mention it to her because she says it in Scream 4 about about the lemon squares. I was telling her how my fiance's aunt would love that. And also for her autograph, I had her what did I say? Um, oh yeah, she goes, Scotty. Um, I forget the exact quote, but it was from the movie. Like, um, just because you're trying my lemon squares doesn't mean you're cheating on your boyfriend. So that was pretty funny. She got a kick out of that. She loved that. She's like, "Wow, that's actually pretty funny." She goes, "I really like that improvised quote." So that was pretty cool.
There you
And then
go.
all yeah, and then with David Arquette, I got his quote modified as well. It said Scotty's a lot of things, but Scotty's not a killer. Instead of Gail's a lot of things, but Gail's not a killer, you substitute Gail for Scotty. So that was pretty cool too. I also met Ski Ulrich.
Hmm.
That was at my first Monster Mania. I met him. He was really cool. Um, I met Kane Hodder. He's pretty expensive, more than I expected him to be, and he upped his prices since I met him. Now, when I met him, it was like $80 for a photo and combo. Now he's $100 for a photo and a combo,
Oh wow.
and he's a lot more than I would expect. Yeah, a lot more than I expected. I also met a lot of cool people from the Friday, like that were there that weren't part of part four. There was Derek Mears was there. Ken Kersinger was there, which is really cool. He actually remembers his interview with me. He said, "Oh yeah, I remember that interview. You're the one that didn't want to pay for international calling." Because he was like one of my very first interviews I've done. I didn't know, but we apparently have international, like I apparently have international calling, and I didn't know that. So I asked if he could call me so I wouldn't get charged. He remembers that. So that was pretty cool, meeting him and him remembering that. I met Harry Manfredini, which was really awesome. His signature is probably the best signature I will ever get. Now, I don't know if you ever met him, but his
Yeah, I
signature
have. Yeah,
has that
I got a
like, yeah,
CD thing off his table.
nice.
He was selling the various CDs of the
Yeah,
scores, and I got one that had parts two and three on it, and he signed
nice,
that.
nice. Yeah, I met well, I met Greg Nicotero.
Hmm.
So he was pretty cool. I didn't get his autograph. I just got a picture, and he has actual replicas from The Walking Dead of the skulls that he created for the film, and you get to hold one, and he gets to hold one, and then but he has three of them there. And he asked me if I wanted to hold two of them, and I'm like, sure. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was really cool that I got to meet him. He was a really nice guy too. Who else did I meet? I met this is a rarity that I haven't seen do a lot of cons. Maybe he does, I don't know. But his name is Kerr Smith from Final Destination.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him. He was really nice too. He was really nice. I just got a picture with him because these were all on Sunday. Greg Nicotero, Kerr Smith, and Sozy Bacon. I only got pictures with them. I didn't get their autographs because money was running low, and I really didn't want to take any more out to get autographs as well. So I just wanted the pictures. So yeah, I got the photos with them, and that was really neat. Because I just didn't have the money to do that. It just became too much because I already spent about maybe 700 or 800 bucks that weekend. So it was one of those things like, I'm not going to take any more out. I'm just gonna use what I have up with me. And thankfully, um I think it was 20 for Kerr Smith for a picture, 20 for Greg Nicotero, and it might have been 30 or 40 for a picture with Sozy Bacon.
Hmm.
So that was really cool though. I met back in April, I also met Elliot Fulham from Terrifier 2. He was really
Okay.
cool. Yeah, I just got a picture with him. I didn't have anything to get signed because I didn't plan to meet him. I also got a pro photo op with Kane, the wrestler, which is really cool. That's the second time I met him. He actually remembers meeting me years and years ago when I got his autograph. And his hand like just engulfed my hand. That's how massive he is. But he was really cool. Who else did I meet? Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh, here's a story. So I was in the elevator going up to the top floor to the hotel room at the con, and when I'm in the elevator, the door's about to close, and somebody yelled, "Hold on, hold the door, hold the door!" And I quick grabbed the door and held it. Guess who it was?
Um, Brett Harris.
Bobby Heckman. No, I'm kidding. It was Elijah Wood,
Oh wow.
Frodo himself, because he was like the headliner for that weekend. Him and Corey Feldman were like the co-headliners. And yeah, it was Elijah Wood. And I was like, I'm in the elevator with Elijah Wood. What do I do? Like, I don't want to seem like a stalker. I don't want to, seem like, one of those fanboys. So I just said, "Oh, hi, Elijah," just playing it casual. And he goes, "Hey, nice to meet you." And he put out his hand. And I'm like, wow. So I shook his hand right in the elevator. I'm like, "I'm Scotty. It's nice to meet you too." Now I wanted to meet him, but I paid 150 for my ticket to get into Monster Mania. That's VIP. That includes a skip the line pass. Obviously, I was using that on Corey Feldman. Big Friday the 13th guy. I wanted to meet Elijah Wood, but his lines the entire weekend were so long that I was not meeting him, and I didn't have another skip the line pass. And I had other people I wanted to meet. I wasn't spending my entire day in Elijah's line. I just couldn't do it. They are like 7, 8 hour waits. Like I couldn't do an all day thing in line. But yeah, that was pretty cool that I got to meet him at least without having to pay for anything. I didn't get a picture or an autograph, and I wanted to ask for a picture, but I also didn't want to be disrespectful because it's like, dude, you're here, you're at the convention, just get in line and get a picture type of thing. I just didn't want to do that, so I just kept it at, the handshake and small chat, a little small talk, and then we end up going our own separate ways. But that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow. I had a really good time at Frightmare in the Falls.
That's good.
Yeah. I spent most of the weekend at Lisa's table,
Uh-huh.
if we have a slow period, I would grab autograph, but um but I spent my weekend at her table. And what's interesting is um our hotels were in separate places.
Mm-hmm.
And but so I would always go over in the mornings to the Marriott to help
Mm-hmm.
Lisa bring her stuff over to the convention center because, well, that's
Mm-hmm.
what you do.
Right.
Anyway, it's always amazing. Either at night, because I'd walk over there with Lisa there, and there'd always be people in the bar,
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, the first night there ran into Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton,
Nice.
and I did a little video with them. We chatted. Um, uh, Second night there, Eileen Dietz was down there, and we chatted. I chatted with her. What
Mm-hmm.
is interesting is that I go over there in the morning and I wait in the lobby for Lisa, and it's interesting the people you just see casually standing there. Like Nick Castle be sitting on a bench just going through his
Mm-hmm.
phone. Or I saw Keith David just standing there with his bags waiting for the bus to come to take them. And I walked over and chatted with him for a minute.
Yeah.
Uh, I saw Carrie L was that way as well. It
Nice.
was,
Yeah, when I was my very first Monster Mania, I didn't know, like, the hotel's huge and the
hmm
parking lot's huge, and I didn't know how to get to the main lobby. And I was like, I'm just gonna ask somebody. So I just said, I'm just gonna ask that guy up there, I guess. So I went up to this random guy on the sidewalk to ask, where do I go to the lobby to check in for Monster Mania? And I look closer. I'm like, wait, oh, you're Doug Bradley. No plan, not plan. I just, I'm trying to get checked in, get my wristband, get settled in, and I'm talking to Doug Bradley, Pinhead himself, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the twins were in the lobby and
Nice.
you know, but anyway, I had a great time.
Yeah,
Uh our table was in between Betsy Baker from Evil Dead and Ari Lehman.
nice.
I don't know what had happened because originally in the floor plan we were supposed to be between Eileen Dietz and Robert Kurtzman, but I don't know what
Did you
happened that they
did you
switches
meet Ari
around.
Lehman?
Huh?
Did you meet Ari Lehman?
Yeah.
Was he nice? Because I heard mixed things about him.
Okay, here's my story about Ari Lehman.
Okay.
Um, the first day he was there, when I saw him there, he was late on at least two of those days.
Okay.
But I'm not here to judge him on that because I'm not working their schedule.
Okay.
But I was there with Lisa, and then anyway, he comes there, and I tell him who I am in association with 13 Fanboy. Anyway, I had talked to him for a minute, but he looks like he's being polite, but trying to do his thing. So I just kind of left
Mhm.
him be. Anyway, the second day he was there, I guess he was eating, but I never noticed that because he was kind of doing stuff as he was eating,
Mhm.
and I never picked up on that. My bad. And uh, I went over to see if I could get my Friday the 13th Blu-ray signed, and he kind of waved me off, and
Oh.
I was like, okay. I wasn't planning on meeting him after that because I was like, okay, I don't want a bad experience, but I put bad taste in my mouth. But I did go to the after party because he was emceeing there and Blood Opera was opening for them, and I definitely wanted to support Blood Opera.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, the third day I was there, I think Ari was one of the last people I met, and he won me over because uh, he signed my thing for free. And I said, "You don't have to do that." And he says, "You're part of the help." Of course I do, because he knows I was helping Lisa most of the
Right.
weekend.
Nice.
I actually got three freebies that weekend, which was interesting. Because Damien Leone signed for free for me because I was
Nice.
helping Lisa. And John Dugan signed for me for free. They had Texas Chainsaw Massacre reunion there. And
Okay.
yeah, John Dugan, I have an interesting story about. Actually, a couple interesting story. Alan DeZanger, I put his interview up for its anniversary.
Uh-huh.
And when I went over to get him to sign my Texas Chainsaw Massacre Blu-ray, he was like, "Oh, you're the one that had interviewed me that tagged me in that on Facebook. I have a project to promote. Can we schedule an interview when we're after Frightmare in the Falls?" And I was like, "Sure."
Nice.
So I had a nice connection with Alan DeZinger. I wish Terry McMinn was there, but I guess he was not feeling well, so she wasn't there.
Uh,
Anyway, John Dugan was there, and
right.
John just signed for free, and he goes, "You interviewed me, so I signed for you for free." And I'm like, "I interviewed you." I said, you're the one people want to hear, not me." So he says to me, he says, if you see me in the lobby, you can buy me a beer.
Nice.
So that evening, I brought some stuff over with Lisa, and then we uh, hung out in uh, the lobby and bar area. And I could see John Dugan having a plate of food at the bar. So I waved the bartender over and I said, "You, whatever he's drinking, get him another one." So she goes over and she brings a beer over there, and you can see him look up at her, and he tells her, and he's going like, and he kind of looks like this, and he goes, waves.
Nice. Yeah, I interviewed him. He was a pretty cool dude, and I interviewed Alan DeZinger too, and he was a cool guy as well.
Yeah,
Both great guys.
they were there. William Vale was there, and Ed Neal was
Yeah.
there. Ed Neal seemed like a nice guy, but the big holdup about him doing a show is he I have to go through management, he said, because he said his manager gets. And I said to him, I said, look, you do my show whether I said the only person you need to ask is me, not your manager. I said, um,
Hmm.
we're not talking about any new projects if you don't want to talk about them. We're talking um, Texas Chainsaw and cons and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I get a little disappointed with stuff like that. I don't have too many bad ties with managers,
Right.
but there are the occasion. I know Tommy Kovac wanted me to ask you about a guy that I've heard him mention, but I don't know anything about this guy, Mikey Perez. Do you know that name?
Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't really know that name, but um my only bad dealings I ever had with management is when they try to get money out of you.
Yeah, that's a funny story. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yep, you
I
go
uh
for it.
I tried to interview John Furry from part two. I
Uh-huh.
reached out to his agent, and his agent asked for $600 for an interview.
No.
So
No.
I mentioned it in passing to Bobby Heckman, and Bobby goes, "That's funny. I'm here with John Furry right now. I'm having beers with him. Let me go ask him if he wanted $600 to do an interview with you, because to me that doesn't seem like something he would do." So he asked John Furry. He goes, "Well, if this guy's trying to get me $600, can you please get me the guy's number, because I have no clue who he is, but I would like $600." Basically saying this guy is a con artist, so don't do it. He said that he wouldn't be able. He doesn't do podcasts. Unless he's promoting something. But he wouldn't be able to do my podcast. But if he were to do it, he wouldn't charge me $600.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that don't settle well with me when people do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking, and I know you mentioned earlier that Ari Lima was late 2 of those days. Now Corey Feldman was late.
Oh yeah, he was
The
late.
first day. Yep.
Yep.
He was about 45 minutes late. And the promoter of Monster Mania, the owner of it, his name is Dave Hagen, and he was not very happy. He comes in to the room and he goes, "Corey's not here yet." And I guess his age Corey Feldman came with everything. He came with hair and makeup. He came with an accountant. He came with a bodyguard that is armed. Like he had everything. Like basically.
What
Uh,
fucking for?
I know, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, it was crazy. And Doug Hagen, I guess, talked I guess his agent. His agent was also there because they were dealing with the accountant, getting all the pictures laid out and getting the money situated. And he goes, "Where's Corey at?" He goes, "I don't know. He's not here yet. He'll be down when he gets here." He's like, "He's 45 minutes late. I have a line of people waiting to meet him. I can't have him being this late." But yeah, he had he would go to his bodyguard that would be right next to him. His hair and makeup would be on the other side of the table, but he would go to the bodyguard who was right next to him. He'd go like this, whisper in his ear, and he goes, "Hair and makeup. Corey needs his hair fixed." So they would
Wow.
come from the other side of the table over, and they would fix his hair, make it neat again for the pictures, and then go back.
So I'm gonna tell you, Corey was a strange one.
Yeah.
because one of those nights in the lobby, uh, me and one my friend Justin there were we saw him standing there and a little far off in the lobby, and we're just looking at him, and Justin was going, "S- s- is he really like this when the cameras aren't on him?" I was like, I guess. It was just Corey was
He was
talking to
doing some
somebody.
type of drug in the parking lot at Monster Mania. A lot of people said they saw him snorting cocaine at like midnight.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I started to approach over there to mention 13 Fanboy, and I just kind of stopped, and I was like, this guy's really fucking weird. Finally, he like darts out into the because of I guess his car came. He
Yeah.
darted out there and into the vehicle like he was Superman, and I was like, he's fucking weird, you know.
He was very nice to me, but he definitely was eccentric, and he had all this team with him. Like freaking Elijah Wood was there, and he didn't have a team of whatever. He didn't have an armed bodyguard, an accountant with a wad of cash,
Oh
and
my
an
goodness.
agent that would literally make sure that his prices wouldn't get raised, like if his prices needed to get raised. Like I paid $140 to meet him. The next day, overnight, literally the next day, his prices now were $220. Yeah.
So why didn't Judy Aronson have an armed bodyguard? But wasn't she fearing for her life from me?
Maybe because you aren't from Maryland.
I don't know. I mean, I could be anywhere.
Right.
Could
Now,
be.
hey, you got that passport now.
I got that passport. Gee,
But yeah, I mean, Corey, he was nice to me. Like I said, he was nice, but he was very eccentric. Now, they did announce the headliner for the next Monster Mania I'm going to, which is in October. And the headliner, I can't wait to meet him. Oh my God, I can't wait to meet
somebody
him.
from My Little Pony.
Matthew Lillard.
Well, close. My Little Pony, Matthew
Th-
Lillard.
There you go.
Did you see Five Nights at Freddy's?
I haven't. That is on my bucket list to see though.
Because he's in that.
I know he's in there. Yeah, I would like to meet him. I got VIP again. So I plan on um using my skip the line on him because they say he is very, very busy. So I'm going to be using my skip the line on him. Most times they cap his line like 2 hours before the show even starts.
You
So
know, I
yeah,
wish I could do that Michael Keaton multiplicity thing,
yeah,
and I could send multiple versions of myself there to
right.
Judy's table.
Yeah. One of you in a Jason mask, one of you in a Freddy costume, one of you, Michael Myers jumpsuit, another one of just yourself, another one with a pie in your face.
She needs a pie in her face. I had Max Wazza on recently, and
Uh-huh.
she was in Porky's and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I had it out with her because and this has happened to me before, and I may have to just put the rest to the Doubtfire challenge because I'm tired of this happening. But excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. But she says that she agrees to do the Doubtfire Face challenge for suicide and depression awareness.
Yeah.
She's got a web page. She's also a musician. So she asked if I'd make a contribution on there, and I said sure. So I made a contribution to her music thing, $50,
Okay.
and she for whatever reason I could not mention her name on whatever it is where it says that you're doing it in honor of.
Right.
So anyway, I brought this up to her, and she says, "Could you make another contribution, but to St. Jude's?" So I said, "Okay, for the pie challenge, I'll do that." So I made another contribution to St. Jude's, and I was able to do the dedication there. So she says, "Thank you so much. I will get right on this." Anyway, Christmas passes, which is fine. I left her alone. We get into January, well, this month, I guess, and I reach out to her to touch base on it. And she tells me that she's getting pushback from her agent about doing this. And and she said she's not able to do the challenge, but she can make a donation. And I said, no, that's not what the agreement was. I said, you do the challenge, you nominate three people in the industry, and we try to get this out here. And she says that she didn't want to do a pie video where it's out there on the internet forever and blah, blah, blah. And like I accused her of ripping me off. She says,
I
I
was just
didn't.
gonna say that, like she like scammed the shit out of you.
Well, she said to me that she didn't rip me off. She offered to make a donation. And I said, you keep your fucking donation. I said, you keep your fucking donation. She said, you know full well what you did. If I see you at a con, I'll be happy to call you out in front of everybody. That's how I deal with that. Um, I'm getting a little tired of that, you know.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this kind of thing to Lisa and to Nancy McLaughlin, and even between them, they're like, why are people that heartless?
Yeah.
Especially when I did give. And right now I'm in debt and I still made time to help their charity.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a little tired of that. And I won't have her back on the show. And like I met Linnea Quigley at Frightmare in the Falls, and I've had her on the show before, and she was another one where I made a donation to her dog charity.
Mhm.
And when I met her saw her again at Frightmare in the Falls this past year, she had a big fucking guilty look on her face when she saw me.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
I didn't berate her, but it's like, it comes down to this, Scotty. I get looked down on. This is what happened with 13 Fanboy.
Yep.
I'm not
Dropped all this money on there, but you end up getting treated like shit.
yeah, I'm not important enough.
Yeah.
I'm not important enough.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these cons, I'm gonna have to really stop and think about people that don't do my cons. And I'm also really gonna have to measure the people who've done my show
Hmm.
because there's even people who've done my show that like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to meet Max, and I certainly don't want to meet Debbie Sue Voorhees.
Right.
Like I don't want to meet these people because of how I've been treated. Why would I want to spend money at their table?
Yeah.
Um, I'll need to be treated like shit. I work hard for my money
Yep.
and my employer appreciates me. When I make a contribution to a charity that's on your website, taking a pie in the face and extending it to people in the industry, that's not a big ask. It's like,
Hmm.
it's not costing you, geez, costing you less than $5 to do that. You don't
Cost
need to
me two
buy it.
dollars and 35 cents for the pie crust and the whipped cream.
Yeah. So Max Wazza, as far as I'm concerned, can go fuck herself. I'm
Yep.
really pissed off at how she handled that. And she could sit there and say she didn't rip me off, but what do you think?
That was going through my mind. I'm thinking if you donate it and she's gonna give some half-assed excuse that she's not gonna do it for whatever reason, I don't care what the reason is. She should have negated this with her agent before she offered you, let you know, can you donate to my charity and I'll do it. Like you don't just ask somebody to donate money to your charity and then, you know. say, oh, but I'm getting a hassle from my agent because this will be on the internet for the world to see for the rest of my life type of thing. Like, okay, well then you shouldn't have asked me to donate to your charity until you had approval if you knew this was going to be an issue. Like to me, when you said that, I was thinking, okay, so she basically conned you. She conned you into donating to her charity and you get nothing in return. The deal is one-sided,
Yep.
and that's not
Yep.
fair.
Yep.
Like, I mean, if you asked me to do the Doubtfire Face Challenge, and you have, and I've done it twice,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask you for anything in return. I was more than happy to do it. I'm not somebody in the industry, but I was more than happy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. It was, I mean, my dad did put the pie on my face the first time, and he got a really good kick to throw a pie in my face. And my fiance put the pie on my face the second time, and he watches that on loop, that video. I mean, it was an honor to do it. And I didn't ask for anything in return. I didn't ask you to donate to my favorite charity. I don't want you to donate for me to do it. Not just because I'm not somebody big in the industry, but I just feel that there's no reason why, something as important as suicide and depression awareness needs something on you need to do something for me in order for me to do this for you and something as important as suicide and depression awareness. Like there shouldn't be a, oh, I'll do it, but there is no but. You're raising awareness for suicide and depression awareness, doing a pie in the face on behalf of Robin Williams, who died from suicide because he suffered from depression. Like, why is there got to be a but in this? There is no but in this. Like, this is a raising awareness for a really good cause. Why are you needing me to donate money to a charity?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could I could see the point of I will do it for you if you would like to donate to my charity. That would be you don't have to, but it would be a way for you to show your appreciation for me doing this challenge. That would be one thing. But I mean, look at the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Everybody's doing this, nominating everybody, including celebrities. This thing is going way over, and not one person that was nominated and was asked to do it asked for a donation to their charity and for them to do it. They just jumped on the bandwagon because it was
And they
hip, it
didn't
was
even know what
trendy.
ALS was.
Right. So the fact that all these people are doing this because it looks cool and it's funny and it's trendy, and they're not asking anybody to, donate to their charity doing it. I'm sure maybe Max probably did it then. Why did she do the ice bucket challenge? If she I don't know if she did, but why did she do it and not ask the person that nominated her, asked her to do it for a donation to her charity? I'm sure she didn't. Why? Because it's probably trendy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. But like I said, she got to pull her little shit, and she got told she's trying to excuse her way out of it,
Right.
you know.
And I
But
mean, I'm not saying anything bad about, and maybe she did do it since I last spoke to you, but Adrienne King, I don't know if you donated anything on behalf of her doing it, but she's been nominated at least by 5 different people, including me, and I
uh
don't think she's done it.
when I met her at Frightmare in the Falls, and 2022,
Uh-huh.
she said that she's still open to doing that. I don't know whether it's her schedule or what's going on with that. I get tired of asking her,
Yeah.
you know? It's like I don't want to come off as harassing people, but it's like for fuck's sake, people. I get right on and I donate to their charity or whatever it is I'm doing. No, like, come on,
Right.
you know?
I mean,
So
if she doesn't want to do it, don't humor me. Just say you don't want to do it. Like, just say you don't want
exactly.
to do it. Tracy Savage told you respectfully, politely, and gracefully, I don't want to do it. I'm sorry, Greg, but I don't want to do it. And you have no bad ill will towards her because she was honest and she was nice about it.
Now, Laura Park Lincoln did do it.
Yeah,
Laura did it. Laura had
yeah,
fun doing it.
yeah. Nancy McLaughlin did it.
Hmm.
Frick, Tori fucking Wilson did it. This is Tori Wilson, WWE Hall of Famer,
Hmm.
legend. You know, Tori Wilson did it. She didn't care
No,
that it's on the internet for the world to see for the rest of her life.
Teal
But
Piper
somebody
did
from
it.
Porky's can't do it? Come on.
Well, here's the thing with Max. Uh, I know Jim Wynorski has been trying to get her to do it because Jim does a lot of these. Jim's a funny guy. He did Chopping Mall, movies like that. He does a lot of tits and ass movies. And he's had Max in one or two of those, but Max is saying that she don't want to do movies like that anymore. And I'm sitting there thinking, every time you see pictures of her, it's her trying to be sexy. It's like, Max, you're totally fucking into yourself, whether you want to believe it or
Right.
not, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. But no,
Crazy.
I had her on once. It was delightful, but I will not have her on again. I
Yeah.
don't need to deal with people that treat me that way, you know?
I agree. I
And I
completely
will
agree with
not,
you.
and I will not give her money at her table if she's at a con I'm at.
Hmm.
Her best thing, like with Judy Aronson, is that if they're lucky, I don't come up and just humiliate them right in front of everybody in their line, because you're
Right.
pretty sure there'll be some people dealing with depression and or dealt with suicide of either themselves or somebody or loved one.
Yeah.
Sure, people like that would just love to hear the person begging them for money for pictures and autographs is a complete fucking asshole, you know?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but nonetheless,
Yeah.
that's where I stand on that. I've had a few people do that to me, and I've kind of exhausted myself with it because
Yeah.
I don't make money at this. It's just something I was trying to help out. Those that have done it, like Sandy Johnson did it, for example,
Yeah.
people that have done it, thank you. Thank you for not looking down on me. To
Yep.
those that did look down on me, like your Judy Aronsons, your Max Wazzas, your whoever might have you, shame on you, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You met Sandy Johnson, right?
Huh?
You met Sandy Johnson?
Yeah, I met her at Frightmare in the Falls.
How
She
was
was
she?
oh wonderful. I met
I
her with her
figured.
her husband was there. Her
Nice.
husband was very appreciative because I had them both on together one time.
Nice.
She's been on three times. Once one of those times with her husband.
Nice.
And when I met them, I took a picture because they had the Myers station wagon there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took a picture with Sandy, and then I got her husband to come in a picture with us. And her husband was really, really appreciative that I invited him in the picture. And I said,
Right.
"Look, you come on the show with Sandy." I said, I really wanted to hear the story of you starting to do these with her because this was all new to him as well.
I was gonna say he's not a celebrity of any kind, is he?
He's a
Right.
professor.
Okay.
Yeah. And when Sandy got introduced to these cons, because originally what was going on with Sandy Johnson is nobody knew where she was.
Right.
They needed her to sign off on her footage in Halloween 2018.
Right.
And what had happened was, like Sean Clark had did an article about it, and somebody else did as well, and
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to find Judith Myers, Sandy Johnson.
Right.
And I think the wife of the guy searching was saying she wouldn't necessarily be under the name Johnson. Wouldn't she be under her married name? Anyway, that ended up leading to it. And
Huh.
the guy found some Sandys and in the area of question. And he messaged and asked, "Are you Sandy Johnson?" And because she was on, her husband was asleep, but she was up doing solitaire or something online, and she saw this message and she goes, yes. And he explained who he was and what he was looking for. Well, she told her husband the following morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was arranged so that they could speak to this guy over the phone or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And she had no idea because she wasn't out due to a stalker or something like that. She left the industry because, her folks weren't doing well, and
Mm-hmm.
she became a teacher, teaching uh, disabled kids,
Okay.
special needs kids.
Wow.
Yeah, like she didn't leave the industry over some hasty thing over fans. She just had to step away.
Right.
And her husband's a professor. And anyway, she got this all mentioned to her. So her husband said that she could only do it if he goes with her, which I understood why he would say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he went. It was an eye opener for her because of the lineup of people to meet her. And her husband, let's just say he has as much fun at these things as she does.
Nice.
It was a real eye opener for him. He'd never seen anything like this. And
Imagine that one day you're like in a very peaceful, secluded life, and out of the blue, you become like, and obviously Halloween is like a Hollywood blockbuster at this point, it's a cult
mm,
classic. At the time it was, a low budget horror movie, but it became this worldwide phenomenon. And, one moment she's having a very quiet, peaceful life playing solitaire, and then and the next thing you know, she has a line full of people, and she's like real like everybody wants her autograph and a picture, paying her to do all this. Like, imagine that.
yeah, and
And her character was not in Halloween long, but her character is the epitome of the freaking franchise.
yeah,
It started this whole thing.
yeah. Well, what's interesting is that her husband was there. He'd help her get her table ready, and he drove the rental car and stuff like that. You know, so yeah, and so he was very appreciative that I would even invite him to be in the picture with us. I said, "Yeah, you were on the show with your wife. Of course you can come in the picture." But it was really I enjoyed hearing his story because like I said, this was not his world.
Mhm.
But I could tell, like, apparently he looks forward to these as much as she does.
I mean, you have to if you're dressing up as Michael Myers pretending to kill your wife.
Yeah, he was the one dressed up as Michael Myers when she
Yeah,
took the pie in the face in that video too. So
nice.
yeah,
That's
so I
awesome.
had a delightful time meeting her, and I'll tell you some other stories I have there
Yeah.
too. Um, I still haven't had Felissa Rose on here yet.
I had her on. Amazing person. Just so you know, when you get her, you're gonna have the time of your life.
Well, she's told me twice now she's going to do it. But meeting her the first time was such a great experience. I had to go meet her again at this one. And she was there with or not David Arquette, Dave Sheridan,
Yep, had
dressed
him
as
on
a,
too.
huh? I
Had him
haven't,
on too. Opposite
yeah, no,
Murphy.
I haven't had either one, and they're both open to it.
Yeah.
I got a picture of him sticking that vacuum cleaner into her ass. But there was his table, there was her table, and then at the very end was Christy Swanson.
Okay.
And here's my story. On Christy Swanson's table, there was a photo of her in a bikini.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice bikini picture of Christy Swanson. Anyway, she kind of noticed something on Felicia's table, and it was something Felicity didn't have on her table the first year I met her. Because you all see the ending shot of her face,
Hmm.
but she had a full body picture of it with the dick and all on
Wow.
her table.
Wow.
And so that was something that wasn't there before. And Christy Swanson had a hard time pulling her gaze away from that. And she was like, "What is that?" So is that you? And Felissa was like, "Yeah, well." Anyway, Felissa took a little tiny post-it note and she drew a dick on it. And she went over and she stuck it right on Christy Swanson's bikini pic. So she goes, "There, now you have one."
That's hilarious.
And Christy Swanson looks at it and she goes, "Why is it so small?" So that was pretty funny.
There we go. Brett Harris wants to hear this story.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, gee, Briars wants to hear that story. Poor Brett and his stale cereal. Seeing all Brett Harris has to see all those pictures of you and your meals, and he gets stale cereal.
He gets cereal we bought for original filming a year before we actually filmed the scene. And I go to Brett. I said, Brett, I don't know if you want to really eat the cereal. It's probably not good. It's probably very stale. It's a year old. He's like, I'm sure I've eaten things that were plenty worse than this. So he did a scene when he ate the cereal because he wasn't supposed to eat the cereal in the script. That was all improv. He said
Hmm.
when he ate that cereal, he said that he when he tells you he almost died. His reaction when he's eating that and he does the that's real reaction.
Well, it's the first time I'd seen somebody die by cereal drowning.
Right? I know that's why I had to do that because that I've never seen that before. And when you lift up her head, if you notice, it spells out the name of his daughter, Sammy, Sami. That's why I got the alphabet cereal, and they didn't make it anymore. At least I couldn't find it, and I had the one from last year. I'm like, well, this is gonna have to do because I can't find this cereal. They were sold out at the store, so I'm like, whatever. I guess I'm gonna have to do this.
I haven't eaten cereal in so long. Like I have Honey Nut Cheerios,
Mhm.
or um, stuff like that I'll eat,
Right.
but the cereal I grew up eating, like I don't even know what's available. You mentioned alphabets. I haven't thought about alphabets and, or
Right.
what is there? Sugar Crisp. I remember that. Fruit
Yeah.
Loops. Now, Fruit
Yeah.
Loops I still see on the shelves, but
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
and imagine like having like a death by
Lucky
cereal
Charms.
drowning. That's a funny creative scene, death scene. That you have to give them. I'm telling you, the movie's not the greatest movie. It was our first movie. A lot of mistakes were made. Give you that, but that death scene was very creative. You have to give the movie that.
What's coming up after 72? Do you guys have any potential plans?
We do have another movie in mind. Can't really say what it is yet. Don't want anybody stealing our idea before we trademark it and copyright it and all that. But we do have another movie in mind, and I like what I'm about to say. It might change. I don't think it will, but it could change depending on the plot of when we write the script and all that. Now we want it to go, but you might be seeing a return of Brett Harris.
Well, I should hope so. You got Brett
Yeah,
Harris and
the
everything.
way it's planned right now, Brett is gonna be our main star of the movie, and as of now, if this is the movie we definitely do, and depending on how the script goes, Brett is probably 98% as of now is going to be the main killer again.
Now, is he going to be fueled by stale cereal?
Maybe But well, no, but what I will say is Brett has a crack scene. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but no, but Brett in 72, not to give much away, but Brett in 72, you're gonna see a Brett Harris, and he probably told you a lot in the interview too. I can't wait to watch his interview because Brett does great interviews. But in 72, Brett he's definitely not a character you saw in the first movie that we did. Friday the 13th part 2, he was a bounty. I mean, yeah, part 2. Friday the 13th Dead Before Dusk, he was like a bounty hunter. In the first movie in Samhain, he was obviously a killer clown with a personality disorder, so he's really a human thinking he's a killer clown. In 72, he's just a normal husband. And it was funny because he was supposed to cry in one of the scenes, and he practiced crying like at his house, trying to actually cry, get the tears flowing, all that fun stuff. And then he comes to set all amped up, ready to fucking cry. And he found out that we had to nix that part of the script and we changed it with something else. He was like, I practiced all night to cry, and now you're telling me I'm not allowed to cry. The reason why it got changed is because the actress playing his wife was unable to make the set that day. So we had to reword the script. So she was gone from the one scene, so she was not seen the rest of the movie because of the rest of the stuff from that point forward. We had to film with her somewhere else because we weren't. She wasn't able to. She wasn't able to make the scene from that point on. So the scene starting with Brett crying and everything had to get nixed because she wasn't available to be there on set, and we were filming the rest of that script with them, with the campers, and so because of that, we had to like everything that regarded her, the actress playing Brett's wife, it was gone. Like, we had to improvise everything. Like we had to rethink how are we going to do this without her, and we did, and we made it make sense. But then we had to film her scenes because obviously there's something like there were things that were integral for her that happened with her. We just had to write that in a different way and film it with her on different days, which we did. But yeah, it kind of sucked for Brett because he was planning to cry and he was unable to cry because we had to rework that. But oh my god, when he was telling us that, he's like, I'm not a man that cries like that, but I'm trying to cry on cue and get this down, and now I come on set and I'm not gonna cry.
How much did Megan make you guys cry?
Oh my, I didn't film anything with her actually. She her all of her scenes were filmed in a different studio location on weekends we weren't filming. She was only on set for second director stuff, like helping with shots and everything like that, but I actually never filmed anything with her this movie. Yep,
You regret that?
not at all. Me and her
Um,
got a lot of bad blood now, and let's just I'll leave it at that. But yeah, me and her got a lot of bad blood, and let me just say, it wasn't on my doing. It wasn't my part that on why we have bad blood. She did something that was not very good and not very nice and not very ethical that I took very big exceptions to, and I called her out on it, and she got very mad that I called her out on it because she was caught, and she decided to block me.
yeah, just like me having to call out some people in 13
Yeah.
fanboy, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, they don't like being
Yep.
called out, but
Nope. And
yeah,
when you get called out, the easiest thing to do is to block the person calling you out because then you figure the problem goes away. Just makes it worse.
yeah, it just makes it worse.
Yep.
Yeah,
All I needed was I fucked up, Scotty. I'm so sorry. I won't let it happen again. That's all I cared about. Yeah.
yeah. 2023 was a pretty rough year for me, and
Mhm.
but I did 104 interviews last year, so not
Nice.
bad.
That was
Um,
definitely a lot more than I did.
well, the year before that, I done the year before that, I did 170.
Nice.
2022, that's my record. Um,
Nice.
but I mean, I'm not trying to outdo myself. It's just how it worked out. But
COVID really helped you out. with Zoom and everything like that because it makes things more flexible. You don't got to go into the studio for every interview. You don't got to share the studio with anybody. You don't got
Hmm.
to get permission to shoot at the studio. You can do it from your own apartment or house or wherever you want to be. You could do it on the go. You could do it at a hotel if you wanted to. You can do whatever you got to do and you can do it on your own time, your own pace. And the only person in control is you and the person you scheduled with.
Yeah.
And it just makes
Yeah.
it so much easier. It really does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But nonetheless, this year not starting out the very, very best with right now dealing with a eye floaty, but my right eye. But I've been told it can be uh uh repaired, so I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I'll have to get that taken care of.
All right.
But yeah, and but I am gonna be as of tomorrow working two jobs. That could be exhausting, but I gotta pull some money together and try to get
There you go.
myself back on my feet. So
There you
so
go.
yeah, gotta do it. But you have anything else you want to plug and promote on here?
Yeah, I will before we do that, I'll leave you with a corny joke. So, where does a cow hang its art?
I don't know. Maybe so. Nope, Skittles is asleep, so he wouldn't know. Okay.
At a museum.
Yeah.
Sorry, wah wah wah. I had to do that one. That one was that I saw that one on a TV show I watched, and I'm like, you know what? That's freaking hilarious. I don't care what people think. That's hilarious to me. I love the corny dad jokes, and I'm like, I'm telling that on this interview. But yeah, my you could like me on Facebook at S McCoy author on Facebook. You can also like me on Facebook with Slasher Scotty at Slasher Scotty. You can find me on YouTube, Slasher Scotty. I have a ton of interviews. I have at least 300 interviews on there. And I haven't been very active on YouTube lately. Like I said, I've been very, very, very busy, but I will be doing more interviews. Hopefully in the spring, I'll do at least two, but I will be having more people on come the summer during summer break, including yours truly, the Python himself, Greg Gilbert. So we'll be setting that up. But yeah, so you can subscribe and hit that bell notification icon to get notified when the interviews do go live. Oh, not live, but get uploaded on YouTube at Slasher Scotty. Um I don't really use Twitter, sorry, X, which I really don't like that name change.
Hmm.
That often, but if you want to follow me on there, you can follow me at I think it's I so I had I was randomly on a bunch of people's pages on Facebook and all of my social media were on all of their pages. It was a Facebook glitch. I didn't know that. So I changed my handles to pretty much all of my outside of Facebook to all of my social media and I don't remember a lot of the changes and I want to change them back. I think my Twitter or X name is now Scotty McCoy 709 maybe. Um you can just search me Scotty McCoy, I'm sure it'll come up. But if it's not, then it says McCoy author. That's what I usually keep it at. Slasher Scotty one on X though. Instagram, I'm at Slasher Scotty, and I believe it's still S McCoy author on there. Of course, you can follow Gravestone Films at Gravestone Films on Facebook and I think it's Gravestone Films on Instagram now. It used to be Gravestone Films Prod PROD, but I think it's just Gravestone Films on Instagram now. And you can also follow on I think it's Gravestone Film without the S on X. And I mean, I'm on TikTok, barely use it. Like I said, I usually if you want to really get in touch with me, the best place is probably Facebook because I don't use X barely at all. I do use Instagram to an extent, but not as much as I would use Facebook. So if you want to if you want to reach out for an interview, if you want to have me on your show, you can do all that. I'm also on I also have a book out, The Ultimate Halloween Movie Experience, forward from Jamie Lee Curtis, and 18 original interviews with celebrities. Some of them barely do interviews about the Halloween franchise, including Dig Fairch, the young Mikey Myers from Rob Zombie's Halloween. That is a rare interview. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, especially about the Halloween movies. So that is a very decent interview to check out in the book as well. I have over 1,000 trivia questions in the book. That was public. The book was published by Bear Manor Media through my agent who set that up with me. So check that out. You can check it out on Bear Manor Media's website. You can also check it out on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Walmart. It's also in Barnes and Noble and Walmart bookstores, so you can check that out as well. I also have a Funko Pop out that you can find that I got created. I don't have it to show off right now. Like I said, I'm in the middle of packing. That's why I'm on my lovely couch because because my office is literally trash with Amazon boxes that I've been saving over the past year to pack things up with, and there's nowhere to move in there, and yeah, I had to stay out here. But and my Funko Pop, I don't even think the Funko Pop's even in the office anymore. I think I did move that over to the new house right now. So can't even show that off. But you can check out the Slasher Scotty Funko Pop on Funko Pop's website. They have it available. What else do I got? Oh, Cameo. You want a happy birthday from me? I could do it shirtless. I could do it with the crack out. No, I can't. That's against the term of service. But I'll give you a happy birthday. I will wish you a happy anniversary. If you're in a loveless relationship and you just can't stand it anymore, let me know and I'll break up with them for you. Holy crap, that was scary. All the icicles are falling falling off the roof and onto the deck now. But yeah,
I bet you that's Bret Harris
I
doing
was
it.
just gonna say that was probably Brett.
That's
Brett
right.
is lingering out here. I hear the laugh now. I see you, Brett. But yeah, so yeah, if you want to break up with your partner and you're afraid or a coward to do it, I'll do it for you. Just pay me to do it. So you can
Uh,
book me on Cameo. Just go to Cameo on the app or on the website. You'll find me under Scotty McCoy, and you can book me for a cameo, and I'll be more than happy to do that for you. I already did a pie in the face for somebody and said I'm a little weenie, so yep. So I do some fun things. I don't. I mean, if you want, if it's gonna make you happy and it's gonna make you smile, I'll embarrass myself for you. But yeah, that was actually a pretty. When I first read that, the cackle I cackled was pretty funny. I'm like, wow, they want me to put a pie on my face and then scream, "I'm a little weenie."
oh wow.
But I did it. I did it. They just had to book me. So book me on there and I'll do what you want. As long as it obliges by the terms and service of the platform, because I won't do anything that I'm not allowed to do. But other than that, I think that's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Bret Harris thinks you're a little weenie.
Probably does. Yep. Yep. He's a great guy. I love, love, love Brett. I will work with him over and over and over again. He didn't even want to originally be in 72 just because he didn't think he fit in with the cast of characters at first because they were all younger. And that just shows his respect for our projects. But he even said, I would be more than happy to do all the stunts for you, like, be your stunt coordinator and set up all the stunts and everything. If and then we end up having him do it. I reached out to him because one of our main actors dropped, and I'm like, "Hey, Brett, um, one of our actors dropped, and I want to know, do you want to be his replacement? I really don't know who to ask right now, and it's too late to do auditions for this role." He's like, "All right, I guess I can do it." He's thinking like it's a small part or whatever. I didn't tell him what kind of part it was. I just told him we need somebody for one day for this weekend. He didn't realize it was the lead role, and he has, you know, dozens of pages to memorize in less than a week. Oh yeah, so that was pretty funny. But yeah, he got a kick out of that. But he was originally gonna do a small part, so he literally got upgraded from a small like little vision, ghostly vision part up to a massive, a massive role where he's basically on every freaking page. So that was pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, oh, it's always great having you come on here,
Thank you.
and share the stories. And like I said, this is your eighth time on. Can you believe it's been 8 years?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In 2 more years, so 2026, I would have been on your show for a full decade.
Yep.
Crazy. Crazy.
Wow. That's funny. But
Yeah.
um but nonetheless, it's great chatting with you. And
Of course.
yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more stories, more Judy Ernst scare stories. And I thought that story was so friggin' funny when I
Yeah.
heard that. And it's funny, I haven't done anything, so I don't know what
Yep.
she's.
Yep.
But when people are guilty, of course they're gonna be paranoid.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, outside that, I'm hoping to make reparations this year and maybe head into 2025 with a much better trajectory.
Yeah.
Yep. But nonetheless, Scotty, I'm going to bid you a great day.
Thank you.
And
You too.
oh yeah, I'm glad we're able to do this today.
I am too.
Yeah. So yeah, and we'll do it again next year. Reach out to me when
Absolutely.
you're ready to have me on your show. And
Absolutely. I'll look forward to having you, I would say probably in June. So maybe we could set something up by mid to late May.
sure,
All
we
right.
can do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Anyway, do a plug for my show before you close off.
Sounds good. Well, this is Slasher Scotty, and I have just been a guest on Python's Paradise.
Absolutely, for the eighth time.
Eighth time, baby. Eighth time.
Yes, and we gotta let Scotty go because he's gotta take lots of pictures of his plumber's crack to post all
Yep.
over Brett Harris's house.
Exactly. With snow in it. Brown snow yet.
You gotta put pictures of your undies all over his trees, and
There you go.
sure he'd love that.
I'm gonna get Brett the Scotty underwear, but instead of my face, it'll be his.
Oh my goodness.
There
Maybe his wife will like that.
you go. See, everybody wins.
Everybody wins. There you go.
All
Anyway, God bless you,
right,
Scotty. You
thank you,
have yourself a
Greg.
great day.
Yep, you too, buddy. Bye.
All right, take care.